For this week's GRE ROC segment, let's take some time to highlight the impact of all the developers and the great design team behind some of our area's biggest projects underway now. That group being LaBella Associates. The CEO, Steve Metzger, is our guest. Glad to have you here. No, busy with everything going on. And we'll talk about two projects in particular happening with RBTL and also locally at one of our schools. So what's some of your latest work? You've been around for years and years, driving growth in the public and private sector.
Yeah, thank you, Brennan. First of all, pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, LaBella's been in Rochester for almost 50 years. We're about to celebrate our 50th anniversary in a couple years. And we employ about 700 employees here in the Rochester area. We do a lot of things from environmental to infrastructure, but what I wanted to talk to you today about was two projects. One is the MCC Advanced Technology Center, and the second is the West Her Performing Arts Center. We'll start with MCC. What's happening there, and how will that new plant be a catalyst for growth in this area? Yeah, MCC is a great project. It really is an opportunity to invest in the workforce in the future. Monroe County has made a serious investment to developing the future technicians and folks who will work on projects that are going to come up in the future. And they're really building the workforce for tomorrow. And what's cool about that project is it's really visible. From the road, you can see activity through windows, through just big, large open areas of students working in an environment and learning in that environment that'll match what they experience once they graduate. So it's really exciting. There's also some soft learning spaces, opportunities outside the classroom where students can gather before class, after class, talk, learn from each other.
And so some of them coming out of the program, maybe have jobs in your company, others locally too. Right. RBTL, there's a whole thing, people know the theater, but then there's this whole story about the whole complex. Yes. So this long-term restoration project, what's the project there? Yeah, so the Masonic Temple and Auditorium Theater, really a gem, architectural gem in Rochester. Many people know the theater from, going to Broadway shows or concerts or whatever, but maybe don't know much about the Masonic Temple part of the building. And that's really what we've been concentrating on. It's as I mentioned, architectural treasure, built about 100 years ago. The work we're doing is respecting that history and architectural features. It's a restoration more than it is a renovation or a replacement. So we think that theater goers and folks visiting the center are going to see accessibility improvements, safety improvements, comfort improvements, just to make the overall experience much more enjoyable. Yeah, still a lot of work to go. First thing you see is the front facade, everything they did there, and then you see all the properties around it. When you get a project, see some of these pictures and designs, and then you see the finished product. What do you think? I think it's great. I mean, that's why I got in the business, because you start with an idea and you develop it, and you collaborate with clients or whomever the project is going to be for, and then you watch it go into construction and you see it in its final stages and put to use. It's really gratifying. This segment is Why ROC. So what is it about having headquarters here that's helped LaBella? Yeah, well, as I mentioned, we grew up here. We've been here nearly 50 years, and the collaboration we've found with clients on their projects where they've trusted us to deliver projects for them, it really taught us how to build the great company that we are now. We have 2,100 employees up and down the eastern seaboard, but it all started here in Rochester, and we're really happy to be able to work on projects in our backyard. Steve, thank you for sharing it. I mean, we go around, we look at the projects, we know the announcements, and then you see the different firms behind it, and you're just part of that on these two main ones with RBTL and West Her, as well as MCC. You want to learn more about those projects, the work going on, as well as our other business features, you can check them out anytime under the ROC section of RochesterFirst.com.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.